everyone, and welcome. This is our annual reflection on the NAIS parent survey that you so graciously participated in, and I really appreciate the time it takes. I know it's not a quick survey, but it's such an important one to the health of the school, and I'm grateful. I hope that you have survived this morning's storms, as well as last week's really significant ice event. I hope that your family was safe. I hope that your property did not receive too much damage and that you are well on your way to moving forward. I appreciate you joining me today. This is a quick overview of what we'll be doing. One of the things is to look back over last year. For those of you joining who are St. Michael's parents who did not come through the middle school here, this is the fourth time we've done this survey. So I'll look back over the survey from last year that was given to the lower and middle school only and talk about this action steps that we took. I will discuss a little bit the annual reports that are coming out soon, and then we'll look at the joint survey that was for the entire lower, middle, and upper school this year, and then we'll look ahead and talk about what is coming. So thanks for joining me today. If you have questions, please type them in the chat, and they will be kind of sent to me so that I can answer them. But the main thing is know that you are always welcome to give me a call. I can talk about my amazing school, lower, middle, and upper all day long, and so happy to discuss any questions with you at any time should you have some that come up related to this survey or anything at all. So going forward, last year we talked a lot about the priorities being the strategic plan that we had put in place and how that was going. And so that continues to move forward, and we're hitting milestones. Remember, you can find the St. Gabriel's strategic plan on the resource tile of the resource board of the My SGCS platform. And so that strategic plan is a 5-year strategic plan, and we continue to move our way through those important things that included taking care of stewarding the finances and the facilities of the school, our community, our Catholic identity, attracting the best and brightest of faculty and staff. Those were some of the main points and highlights that we had in that strategic plan, and we continue to work on those and make those a focus. World language instruction was something that was important, that we continue growing our program and have consistency across classrooms and our grade levels. I'm very, very pleased, especially my focus was in the Spanish curriculum. We have expanded our faculty in the Spanish program, and their vertical alignment and enhancement of that curriculum has been really outstanding. We're really extremely pleased with that. Focusing on instructional enrichment and differentiation. At that last year, I was telling you about joining with and partnering with the Center for Transformative Teaching and Learning to learn about mind-brain education and really put strategies into place that allow us to differentiate appropriately in the classroom. We are towards the end of our year with CTTL. We did a very intensive program over last summer. They've come twice throughout this year, and we'll have one more visit. And then we'll have an ongoing presence with them. It has been really an informative process for us, and something that we have carried into our classrooms, and I'm excited about that. Communication. One of the things that, communication overall was praised, but a focus on consistent teacher-parent communication across classrooms, and that's something that we've really worked on this year. One of the things that we did in particular to address middle school was really looking at how our advisors in the middle school communicate consistently across classrooms or across advisories, and so that's been something that we've worked on this year and we will continue to focus on. Faculty, one of the things I really wanted to do is continue to fully staff our middle school, and that was a multi-year process looking at each subject area. That should be complete next year when we fully staff out our middle school faculty, and I'm excited about that. I was putting in place our Director of Mission and Identity to really look at student retreats, from pre-K through 8 and the advising system. That has been a wonderful benefit to our school. Mr. Jordan is just not only a wonderful theology teacher, but also just really outstanding in this role. The retreat program really was and has been outstanding this year. The fall retreats were incredible, and his lead in advisory programming has been important. Expansion of student support services. It was important to us last year that we make sure that we had that fully staffed consistently, and we do now. We have a fully staffed student support department. We've had that all year so that they can fully support academic learning and standardized testing, and academic learning support both in support where students need it as well as enrichment. And finally, athletics, really making sure, and this has been a multi-year process of a level of importance that we've seen from families over the past couple years, really focusing on our athletics programming as well as our athletics complex. As you know, we completed our football complex this past fall, so that's been lovely and really, really fun for our families. And now we're working on finalizing the multi-purpose field project and getting that ready to not only be a place where our students play every single day at recess, but allow us to have home games for baseball and hopefully softball for our girls. So we're excited about that. So lots of progress, and thank you again for your input. Annual reports, those are so important to show the life and health of the school financially, and so those are coming out here soon. The St. Gabriel's one from last year that looks back on last year will come out on the 5th. I guess that's already passed, so it came out already. And so you can look to that, make sure that you check there for that link if you're interested in looking through that. It's really a very positive and happy publication. And then similarly, the St. Michael's Catholic Academy annual report from last year is being published in February, so look for that to come out. Of course, next year we will have a joint annual report from pre-K through 12, and so we'll look forward to joining in that endeavor. So looking to this year was really a wonderful survey result. We had 31% respondent rate, which is very high for a survey of this kind, so thank you for your participation. Overwhelmingly, the largest group of responding parents were from 9th and 10th grades. And we were excited to be able to expand our reach to the high school to get that feedback. So as you noticed when you were taking it, there are two parts generally to the survey type questioning. There is what is important to you, and then how are we doing with those? And so when we are analyzing the survey, we're looking to see how those two things relate to each other, and then come away with are there surprises, are there things that we didn't know were important? And making sure that what we're planning to do is in alignment as an entire community. As it has been the case, there weren't surprises for us, which is exciting. It means that we are in tune with our community, and that we are able to communicate back and forth consistently with you all to hear where you are. So I appreciate that partnership. So what you all said that were important overwhelmingly were that the school pre-K through 12 have challenging curriculum in the core academic subjects, quality of teachers, and this is in no particular order, so these things showed up equally important. That small class size was important, that character education and moral development throughout the school is of importance. School safety, of course. We know that that is something that is so important to all our families and to families across this country, and we are, of course, in full agreement. Development of leadership for our students, college placement services and the academic advising program, standardized testing preparation, academic tutoring, and extracurricular clubs and activities. Those were the things that really came out as being of particular importance to our families. Areas that our families felt are particularly strong across the board from pre-K through 12. One was the facilities. And that's something that we pride ourselves on, in taking care of this beautiful, now almost 60 acres that we together steward and make sure that we have the best for our students. So we're excited that that is something that feels good to our families as well. The character development is something that is a strength. school safety. What we hear both through this survey and anecdotally is that our families feel safe with their children here, and we are grateful. And it's something that we focus on absolutely constantly. Academic resources and strong faculty, something that is really a strength, and I'm delighted because we work so hard on that and want that to be the case. Communication overall, in general, families feel really good about that it's the right amount, that coming from the right places isn't confusing, that kind of thing. Academic preparation was considered a strength. Science really jumped out for families as particularly strong across the board. Opportunities for our students to participate in athletics and physical education, very strong. I'm really pleased with that. That was something that really showed up strong this year, and I'm delighted because it's been a focus. Advisory programming, the feeling of our students having a place that they are known and seen is, and that parents have a place to call. That was seen as strong. And then again, class size being something that is seen as a strength for our families. So areas that we want to continue to grow in and make sure that we're focusing on going forward. And these were things that were feedback from you, our families, and things that we already, like I said, not a surprise. These are things we work on. First of all, balance of workload and advanced curriculum. That's a good one. We want to have advanced curriculum for our children and students. We want to have opportunities for them in all sorts of curricular choices. And we also want our children to be able to have balance, right? We want family life at home. We want the children to be able to participate in other activities. And so finding that fine line is important. So it's something that we work on as educators all the time. We hear you that that's important, and we will continue to focus on that. Study skills, test preparation, academic advising programs was something that came forward, mostly in the sense of SAT prep and ACT prep. Those things have been available in the winter term program that is so incredible at the high school, and it's something that we think about in ways of how do we, authentically prepare our students for those types of things. So we're going to continue that focus along with academic advising. Study skills, I know, especially in the middle school, has been a big focus this year for our families and our faculty, and it will continue to be a focus as we move forward to get that really tightened up. Research skills. This one was speaking to my teacher heart. I couldn't agree more. Research skills are deeply important, and they are things that we will continue to work on. And I'll go into this in more detail. Leadership development, Catholic identity, cost and value, and extracurricular clubs and activities. So let me show you the action steps, and then I'll go back to that other piece in just a second. So communications, we're going to talk about merger communications. We're going to be doing those regularly and ongoing. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Curriculum and workload, like I said, we're really working on the alignment of internal curriculum, having good oversight of that, and alignment of the structures that allow our students to find that balance. Study skills and advising, we're looking at 9th grade transition. That's a really interesting time for us. We have students coming from this campus, but also very importantly students coming from campuses all over school. And so making sure that no matter where our students have come from, that transition is a smooth one, and that they create a tight-knit community that is ready and prepared to move into high school. Really, again, continuing that focus on advising programs in both the middle school and high school, with a study skills focus in the middle school in particular. Research skills. This is really part of the language arts curriculum alignment discussions, as well as the social studies curriculum alignment discussions. And so across the two campuses, how do we want this to look in terms of what is the approach we take to research? Are those skills being pulled apart across grade levels so that they're taught in a way that is understandable to our students and they are prepared as they go forward? So that is definitely a focus. Leadership skill development. This is a great one to look at as we are joining. We have so many places in the lower and middle school that we focus on leadership development, both in advisory, in programs like Junior Honor Society and the Student Council, but also, the high school has such great leadership opportunities, again, in student government and their senior leadership team. We, at the middle school, brought down some of the structures that we also have in the high school, so that there's a leadership team kind of in the works there in the middle school in a similar vein. But there's always areas that we can grow that leadership so that it really is focused on as many students as possible. So that will continue to be something we look at. Catholic identity, again, as we bring our schools together, this is important. We are a Catholic school, and we are an independent school. And what does that mean for both of us as we come together into one school? And so we're excited about those conversations. Those were some of the most rich and robust and exciting conversations as we were looking to come together, and I'm looking forward to that continued conversation. Value proposition, this is so important. This is an investment that you, our families, make in your children, and we take that very seriously. And so it's important that we, as you know, the economy and the way it's been going, that we support our faculty and staff in being able to remain with us, that we are able to attract and retain the best faculty and staff, and we want to make sure that we can keep our tuition in a way that is affordable and accessible. So there are things that we are looking at. We're really looking at our endowment so that we can grow that to offset tuition increases going forward. To continue our robust financial grant, we have now that one of the benefits too of being together is that we have a much more robust combined ability to support families, and so we're excited about the ability that we have to support families with tuition. If you have questions about that, I hope you will reach out to Mrs. Golab. And finally, making sure that we continue to be excellent, that no matter what, this has such a value to have your family and your children here, that we are not overlooking anything. That is a constant focus for everyone here on campus, no matter what grade level and office that we work in. Finally, extracurricular clubs and activities. I am so excited about the ability for the high school and the lower and middle school to share so that we can really offer more to each other. And so we're looking forward to the possibilities that creates. Let me go back then to one of the biggest areas of question when we were looking at the survey, and that was the area that we asked for your feedback on questions around the merger, and there were such good ones, and so I want to make sure I take some time to answer those questions. First of all, and these were kind of the areas that the questions in the about the merger came up. Culture, what is that going to look like? Academics, and the naming, of course, uniforms, leadership, how's that going to look, and the structure, and then the overall benefits from each side. So let me talk a little bit about that. That's important. This merge and unification has been discussed on and off for, many, many years, and most recently very intensively the last few years. And so it was done with a great deal of thought and planning. It is really important to us that we not only achieve the benefits, which are many, of being together, the sustainability long-term and strength of a pre-K through 12 institution is just a huge benefit. The ability for children to have a broader range of experience, for families to know that when they are here as young children, they get to experience the fullness of a 15-year experience. And that we are able to increase our welcoming of students from around the city throughout those years, especially at the high school level, bringing so many students in. That continues to remain so important. So those pieces are important. That combined culture, the things that we can do together, because our missions are so similar. We are a Christ-centered school that really works hard to raise children of great integrity and faith, and to be able to be successful at whatever they choose. And there are things that are uniquely important to each school, and so there is no thought about erasing anything that is important about each individual campus. And so those things will be important as we move forward and as we think about very intentionally taking steps to align, do these things fit as we come together, both the cultures of the separate schools, as we come together to create that new culture as one school. Academics, that's an exciting one for me as a former curriculum director. The possibilities that are afforded to our students across the board are so exciting. The innovation that is possible with Halo and the D-Lab here on this campus, and bringing together how our students learn and how our teachers teach is really exciting to put that together. And also, of course, make sure that as children join us, that they are really ready and prepared and onboarded well, so that they can feel just equally as part of everything as they join us, no matter when that happens. So there's so many academic benefits that I'm excited about from so many different levels. It could be world languages, and we're excited about that. We're excited about fine arts. The possibilities in fine arts are huge. The possibilities in athletics we're so excited about. The possibilities in math and expansions around math curriculum and opportunities for our children, those are so exciting. So we're looking to all those benefits, but those are slowly, conversations that are happening now. And as our staff continue to work on fulfilling those, we will move forward intentionally and carefully. Naming, this is a big question, and I know for some it's a worrisome question. What I can tell you is this is something that we are not going to be discussing really for a couple of years. We might start having discussions sooner than that, but really not making a decision for a couple of years. The reason is we want to really get to know each other. We want to make sure we understand what is that new culture going to feel like, and who are we as a school, and so what do we want a name to represent? I can tell you that the process for that final decision ultimately will involve as many voices as we can get: families, alumni, students, faculty, staff. And so look to that in the future as we start to think about, what will that look like as our final decision. Uniforms, I get lots of questions about uniforms. Again, similarly to naming, that's something that we'll discuss as a community over time. I know that there's a lot of desire at the high school level for a focus on dress code in terms of consistency and things like that. We hear you and are really looking at that. And what does that look like ultimately? We haven't started those conversations yet. And again, that conversation will have a lot of voices in it. But know that in the meantime, dress code at the high school is something that we are working on and will continue to work on as a focus. Leadership. There was some confusion about heads and how many heads are there. So it's really, let me kind of go through that for you and explain. The independent school model is a very specific one. And so we are very definitely structured as an independent school. I am the pre-K through 12th grade head of school, which means I oversee things like the overall budget and really oversee all operations. But that is a job that one person cannot do to the level of detail that's necessary. And so the heads of the different schools and divisions are equally as important. And so Mrs. Sloan is continuing to be head of the high school. She is focused very deeply and effectively in the outstanding work she does at the high school. So if you're a high school parent, please continue to reach out to Mrs. Sloan for your questions that are specific to high school. You're always welcome to reach out to me as well, but she is very firmly and definitely, leading the high school. The middle school is still firmly led by Dr. Snyder, although as you probably read yesterday, her family has been transferred to Dallas at the end of this school year. So we have already begun a search, and we have some great candidates, and we'll be moving forward and communicating about that. But Dr. Snyder is beloved and outstanding at what she does, and she is firmly here through the end of the school year. And then, of course, Jackie Glenn is in charge of our lower school and was really, as I always say, the person that I handed off my beloved lower school to with great joy and confidence. And so our three heads of the various divisions are incredibly competent, incredibly outstanding, and they have my full confidence, and I know they have yours as well. So continue to reach out to them should you have any questions. We do have a combined board. We don't have two separate boards any longer. We have one combined board that is made up equally of board members from the previous schools, so there's equal representation. The chair of the St. Michael's board previously is chair of the combined board, and that is Crystal's, and our chair, Ron Zaboral, of our previous St. Gabriel's board is our vice chair. So really wonderful leadership of the school that is in place and stewarding the school forward as we continue to do this alignment. Overall benefits, my goodness, I've already spoken to those. There are so many, and really the satisfaction of creating something incredibly special for Catholic education here in Austin just gives me such incredible joy, and our entire community of faculty and staff feel that same sense of excitement about what we have the honor of creating here together. Really incredible high school, really incredible lower and middle schools coming together to provide something really special from a Catholic perspective, an independent Catholic perspective. And so that's an exciting place that we are going. I know I've got a couple of questions that I want to answer. Thank you, Mrs. Costello, for how will student technology use be monitored, addressed, and continue to evolve to find a balance of 21st century skills and research around learning and screen time? Yep, really important question. That's a valuable one. It's one we think about a lot. That's why we have the firewalls we have in place and things like that, so students are heavily monitored here at the lower and middle school, and we're working on what that process will look like at the high school that is appropriate for each age level. And so those conversations continue. The importance of technology can't be understated, but it also is important that schools understand their role in that, and that is that our children feel prepared, because we know that the technology they're learning today will be obsolete by the time they graduate in many respects. So it's really a sense of being comfortable with how to engage and understand change around those things. However, our role is not to use technology to the exclusion of other skills, and we take that seriously. And so we understand that innovation doesn't just mean throwing technology at something, that innovation might be pen and paper. It might be just teaching something differently, and we really try to keep our eye on that. So thank you for that question. I appreciate it. It's something we think about a lot, and I hope that you'll continue to ask those questions, and if there are concerns, bring them forward. I don't see any other questions at this time. I really appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you taking this survey so that I can get your feedback and hear your voices. But always, as those of you who know me and those of you who will get to know me soon, I really love talking to each and every one of you. I am never too busy, and I hope that you will reach out to me directly if you have questions or just to say hi and introduce yourself. I know that there will be times coming up, especially at the high school level, where I will get a chance to meet more families and hear from you directly. But in the meantime, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am always available and excited to talk, like I said, ad nauseum about my favorite thing, which is our school. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Go Crusaders!